Oh, look at that. I am live just like that. Hopefully you guys are all doing good. I appreciate those of you that are able to stop by and sort of check out the live stream. I don't usually do a lot of live streams, but I really felt like this was a pretty cool one to do. I got home early from work, and I just wanted to kind of go over this awesome interview that I saw with Aaron Greenberg in Game Industry Biz, and it was a very long interview, and so I figured it would be perfect for sort of a long form hangout. And and I haven't really had time to really just kind of chat with you guys for a little bit, and I like surprising you guys, keeping things a little bit fresh. A little bit fun as well. So I'm also putting the finishing touches on my Spider-Man PS4 review, which I'm going to have up today. So yeah, you guys can look forward to that. I think it's going to be definitely something to check out and look forward to for a really good take with it. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be something that I know a lot of people expect me to be super down on the game, and I'm not really going to be that way. It's got some good points, it's got some bad points, but overall, it is pretty fun, and I'm looking forward to actually getting out there and kind of reviewing it and checking it out. So make sure you guys hit that like button, share this out, and all that kind of stuff, and jump right into it. So like I said, Aaron Greenberg was talking and did an interview with Game Industry Biz. The link is in the description if you guys actually want to read it. And he says, I can't think of a holiday that has more AAA games in such a tight period. And he's right, honestly. Microsoft has done a really good job at kind of going out of their way and making this a really good holiday for everybody, because games are playing so much better on the Xbox One X. Obviously, this is going to be the first full-on year that the Xbox One X is a thing for the holidays, and I think that's something that a lot of people are kind of looking forward to. Gamescom was last month. Microsoft put the final touches on its Christmas plans. There was some new hardware bundles and things like that. And in fact, there's a lot of hardware bundles, from the Tomb Raider one, the Forza Horizon 4 one, Fallout 76, Battlefield. There's a ton of bundles out there for you. And I think that obviously with Forza Horizon 4 coming in Game Pass and all that kind of stuff, it looks like Microsoft has a lot of stuff to put out. I know there's going to be haters that are going to be talking Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. Xbox has no games, blah, blah, blah. But let's just pretend that we're all just decent gamers here, and we're just talking specifically about Xbox. So obviously, he says exclusive content is crucial, and we'll be back to that. Xbox is going big with third-party titles this year. In fact, Xbox marketing boss Aaron Greenberg says more third-party partnerships this year than we've ever had. That's incredible when you think about it, because Microsoft used to rely heavily on these third-party partnerships, and now we see them kind of doing that again, and I think that's pretty cool. And I think Microsoft has done a good job at kind of righting that ship, because if you remember early in this generation, guys, we didn't see a whole lot of partnerships. Microsoft was really kind of reluctant to get into the partnerships like they normally would. So I think this is cool that they're getting back into the whole partnership aspect of gaming. It's a huge thing, right? If you want people to buy your console, you have to show things off on your console, right? So you got to get these partnerships, even if you're losing like they are this generation. I mean, obviously they've already lost this generation, but what you want to see is some building some momentum into the next generation. However they're going to work it, we're not 100% sure yet, but you're going to need partnerships. You're going to need those Cyberpunk 2077 partnerships. Show that game off on the X or the Scarlet, whatever, you know what I mean? So he says a lot of our partners, especially after we launched Xbox One X, are interested in making sure that they're able to work with a platform that is going to be the showcase for their games. Think about that. He says that it's a platform that's going to be the showcase for their games, and that's what the Xbox One X is. We start with the developers that want to show their games where they look and play the best, and so having the performance advantage and being able to show their games in 4K with great frame rates is great for those folks. And then on the business side, there are mutual benefits. We can go market together. We can do bundles. We can introduce people to their franchises, and they can help us sell consoles. Those third-party market deals like Battlefield, Tomb Raider are going to be very crucial for Microsoft with kind of delivering on the powerful Xbox One X message this holiday. 40% more powerful according to Microsoft. So realistically, it's doing this on the exclusives for sure, but it's also doing this on a lot of the big third-party stuff, where even though Sony has PlayStation 4 partnership with a lot of games such as like Red Dead 2 and Call of Duty, those games are going to play and look better on the Xbox One X. And in the case of Red Dead 2, that's not even coming to PC. I mean, it'll eventually come to PC, but not this year. So the best place to play Red Dead 2 is going to be the Xbox One X. So like I said, Battlefield 5, that just came back from Digital Foundry, and they announced that it's 4K most of the time, 4K 60 most of the time on the Xbox One X. That's incredible. Tomb Raider, that's going to be 4K on the Xbox One X. Red Dead, that's looking like it's going to be 4K on the Xbox One X. These games are looking incredible on the Xbox One X, and Microsoft is really conveying that, even games that they don't have partnerships with, and I think that's pretty cool. 40% more power, like I said, according to Microsoft. And when you come into this holiday, you got to get that messaging out. And so he says, we weren't quite sure how we were going to do the first holiday with X, according to Aaron Greenberg. But what we found from independent media, from Digital Foundry to all the people who do the technical evaluations, is that every single game is looking and playing the best on X, whether it's faster load times, better frame rates, actually running in native 4K. So specifically, if you talk about wanting to play Red Dead or FIFA or Call of Duty or one of our games, whatever you're a fan of, we can say that your game is going to look and play best on Xbox One X. For a lot of gamers that have invested in 4K TVs and really want that premium experience, that matters a lot. And I have to agree 100% with what Greeny is saying right here, right? Greenberg, a lot of people don't like him. I like that he's out here talking and kind of keeping up with stuff. Hey, what's up, everybody? I see you in the chat. I'm also just kind of reading this as well. So if I don't respond right away, that's the reason. I'm just doing what I can to kind of go over this stuff with you guys as well, because I found this to be an incredibly interesting topic. And again, if for me to upload a video where I'm talking for 15 minutes or more would take me forever. So that's why I'm doing it here. But if you guys notice, they're talking up the 4K angle. And I think that's something that they were in desperate need of doing for a long time. And, what we see is them saying, hey, even Sony's games that are marketing with Sony are going to look and play best on the Xbox One X. That's an important thing to announce. And that's crucial for Microsoft going forward. And I think that, when we see the Digital Foundry reactions to Red Dead 2 and some of these games, I think that that's going to help sell Xboxes even more so. And that's very exciting as well. So Microsoft is on the right path here. It's just all about kind of getting people to pay attention and listen and kind of, explore and take that chance on Xbox as well, right? You want to take that chance on Xbox and see kind of what you can invest in and what you can do, because a lot of people aren't willing to take a chance on Xbox. So anyway, he says you want that premium experience. It matters a lot. So in many cases, gamers will own multiple systems, and if that's the case, where do they want to go buy third-party titles? And we've definitely seen customers choosing the Xbox One X because of the power advantage. Now, when it comes to major AAA launches, there's a ton of big ones coming this year in Q4. September, Shadow of Tomb Raider, NBA 2K19, FIFA 19. October is Black Ops 4, Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Lego DC Supervillains. Starlink, November is Battlefield 5, Spyro Trilogy, Hitman 2, Fallout 76, Just Cause 4. And wow, that's a whole lot of games. And all those games that I just mentioned are going to look and play best on the Xbox One X. So think about what Microsoft is really doing there. And Sony doesn't have another big exclusive. Their big exclusive is sort of out of the picture right now, right? So Spider-Man, and it's good. Like, props to Sony. They were able to put out 3 great games this year. They did Detroit, and they did God of War, which is like probably my game of the year, and Spider-Man. And that's a fantastic lineup. Microsoft didn't even come close to doing that. And that's not even something that I'm afraid to say. That's just truth, But Microsoft does have Forza Horizon 4 left for this holiday. And I think that's going to be a real showpiece. And he even mentions that no surprise, Xbox was releasing Forza Horizon 4. And Aaron Greenberg says we're going to get it out early, October 2nd, before the blast radius. That's then we didn't need Crackdown or any of our titles in the holiday window. We're planning to launch that in February. And then after that, we will launch Ori and the Will of the Wisps. And we will have a steady cadence of content throughout the year. But there's more than enough content this holiday. That's why we're working with so many third-party partners to showcase their games and help drive our platform during that window. I can't think of a holiday that had more AAA games in such a tight period. Forza Horizon 4 is no small titles. Maybe you guys saw that awesome commercial that they did with Maurice LaMarche, where he was doing like the Attenborough style thing. I thought it was hilarious. Mooch didn't think it was that great, but I thought it was really funny. And what's funny is because this actually mentions some of the Forza numbers, right? It says the last game in the Horizon brand released in 2016, which was Forza Horizon 3, was a breakout hit and sold 2.5 million in less than 6 months. It far exceeded all expectations from analysts, retailers, and even Microsoft. It's still selling really well today. The question is whether the new game can even beat it. And I mentioned this in an earlier video. He says there are fans of the Forza franchise that we know that we're going to be very busy with this release. The question is, are more of the mainstream gamers who maybe buy 3 or 4 games a year, are they going to make that list with Forza? Like, is that going to make it in there? And you're right, Forza Horizon 3 greatly exceeded our expectations when it launched, and every single month since then, it's been incredible. Horizon 3 was in many ways a great open world game. The game and setting was very unique. With the quality of the game, it stood out. The challenge for the developer Playground was how to build on that. Having the setting in Britain, which is how they really based it on, is where Playground is based, being able to add in the elements of the seasons and how you can change the gameplay that's going to take the franchise to a whole nother level. So I'm really excited for Forza Horizon 4. I know it's not going to get the hype of, you know, say a Spider-Man, and probably shouldn't. You know, I mean, one's a racing game and one's more of a different type of game. So I think that that's interesting as well. So I really like what Microsoft is doing. I know not everybody's going to be like this huge fan of what they're doing, but I still think that it's crucial to their future going forward to have these types of games like Forza. I know everybody's just going to go, oh, well, it's just another Forza, man. Who cares? But at the end of the day, I think gamers care. You know, like Forza is one of the most beloved franchises. And just think about where we'd be this generation if we didn't have Forza, right? Where would be the good racing games be? They certainly wouldn't be on the PS4 because they haven't had any. GT Sport is garbage and Drive Club is garbage. You know, there's a lot of games that have been racing based that have come out, but none of them have really been very good. You know, the arcade-based arcade racing game is Horizon, and the best simulation is Motorsport. So I think that's pretty much looked upon as fact. And what we're seeing is Microsoft continuing to push that, and that's pretty cool. You know, and I know that there's a lot of Forza fans out here, and I know that a lot of people aren't going to be like, hey, let's go ahead and, you know, change our Twitter avatar to Forza car. Like, they won't do that. They'll do that to Kratos or Spider-Man, right? And they won't even do that to Gears. You know, it seems like just PlayStation stuff, but it's still pretty cool. Hey, hit that like button, guys, if you guys are enjoying the show. I do appreciate it as I keep on going on, because this is going to be some good stuff. I'm very excited about what Microsoft is doing, and they seem to have that swagger back. He says our expectation is that Forza Horizon 4 is going to be the biggest and best-selling Forza game that we've ever launched. Currently, our pre-order tracking well ahead of where we want, and tracking ahead of where we were with Forza Horizon 3. So the early indicators are really good, and this was before you get it into Game Pass, which will allow it to reach another set of gamers who may never have played or bought the game. So it's not all about new games either, because Microsoft's Sea of Thieves is a, you know, service game. It's a games as a service that's getting 2 major updates before the end of the year as well. He says the Sea of Thieves is a big priority for us. Both Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 were breakout hits of the spring. They exceeded what we expected them to do. Sea of Thieves has over 5 million players. State of Decay has more than 3. They both sold more than what we expected and drove a lot of that engagement with Game Pass. So basically, he's confirming that Game Pass doesn't deter people from buying Xbox exclusives. And I think that's really important going forward as well, because everybody thought, even myself, maybe thought that that would be the case, you know, like, hey, we might not be able to sell this as much because we have it in Game Pass and people can just play it for free if they have a trial, or just pay $10 and play their month or their $1 or $2 or whatever, because it's always on sale. And what we've seen so far is that no, that's not the case. Microsoft has been able to actually sell more of these games than what people expected because of Game Pass, right? You get a little taste of it or whatever. For me personally, I have Game Pass because I was gifted a year. I don't really use it because I pretty much own everything. Like, I bought Forza Horizon 4. I wanted to play it early. I wanted the DLC included, which it was this year if you buy like the $99 version. So I bought it. You know, I'm not going to spend $30 on DLC when it comes out to not own the game and to keep on continue playing in Game Pass. So for me, it's not a great thing. But I can understand why Game Pass is great for a lot of people, particularly you know, like if you're a student or if you don't have a ton of money and things like that. So definitely like to see that as well. Microsoft really kind of hitting everything on the head right there. Kenny says, well, you're so wrong about Drive Club, judging by your recent gameplay on the one. You haven't spent any time with it. Dude, I played Drive Club when it came out, and it was absolutely terrible. The most important thing for a racing game is to be fun, right? Getting stars to do the next set and being penalized if the AI accidentally crashes into you, that's not fun, right? Like what they were trying to do was have this arcade racer that was almost like a simulation racer, and it didn't work. That's why the game scored bad. That's why it sold bad. That's why they closed down the studio. It's not really a secret. The game looked good, but the game just isn't fun, and I think that's really the problem with that game. I think it looks fine, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't a fun game for people, and that's a big problem. And Microsoft has managed to make games that are fun with their racing games. Forza Motorsport is fun. Forza Horizon is fun. Forza Horizon's better in my opinion, but it's still fun. And Microsoft gets that. Those developers get that. So, they're also talking about the new Sea of Thieves stuff. Microsoft wants to push over the holiday is Game Pass. He says that the subscription service is going to be particularly attractive to those getting an Xbox One for Christmas. And that's right. Think about it. You pick up an Xbox One for somebody for the holidays, right? And you get them a year of Game Pass, and they have access to over 100 games right away. He said this is the best holiday gift as it removes the questing over which title to buy the gamer for the family. You're going to get all the Xbox exclusives. You're going to get the ones that are already in there. I think that's really cool. And I do think Game Pass is of tremendous value for people. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Like initially, you think it's bad, or maybe that people look at it bad because they think, oh, well, if they're going to put all the exclusives in there, that means that they're not going to be quality exclusives. They're just going to be half done or all games as a service or whatever. And I think what we see is Microsoft kind of taking a different approach than that and really going all out and trying to do the best that they can with these games. You know what I mean? And I think that we'll continue to see that. I think we won't see a big bump with Game Pass until Forza Horizon 4, because I think that game's going to score in the 90s in Metacritic. And I think that's going to make people want to put down that $10 and try that engagement out and try that game. And you're going to see the numbers spike. And, then February comes, and then you got Crackdown, and then Ori, and then, you got more people, and then Gears 5, and then you got more people. And that's just, they're going to continue to grow that. I know people don't think so, but it is. That's just the way it is. He says Game Pass via digital channels and also retail. Considering how vital box game sales are to the health of physical retail business, are stores really comfortable pushing Game Pass? Was a question they asked Greenberg. And he says it depends on the retailer, which is really kind of weird for him to admit. For the most part, yes, a couple of things are happening at retail. One, it's by and large the place where most consoles are purchased. So when you're buying a console, it's a case of what do you get with it? In that sense, Game Pass is a great addition for one low price. You already have a library of over 100 games, including a bunch of new releases, so that's great. In addition, you want to get the latest new release, that's fine, but this is a great value, and I think retailers see that. Also, there's times of the year when there may not be big AAA games coming out, but retailers can go and sell Game Pass as an offering during those months. But we'll see some retailers have reacted differently, intentionally built this service so that retailers can participate in the ecosystem. If you think you're about other subscription models like video services and music, retailers don't play a role, but we do value our partnerships with the retail. See, he's very much covered his butt here because there are probably a lot of retailers that really aren't interested in, trying to push Game Pass on the people. You know what I mean? So I think that that's going to be critical for Microsoft going forward as well. Like, what do you do? Because you have to have retailers sell your consoles, and at the same time, you have to really push your digital content as well. So they're pushing digital content with Game Pass and stuff like that, and retailers might not want to allow that. They still got to sell their box, and I still think that that's something that Microsoft has to be wary of and pay a little bit of attention to going forward, and hopefully they can. He says it really does drive the trial of the game without any real cost. We're seeing people who sign up to Game Pass who do the free trial and then they go out and buy the game that they want to keep playing. We've seen that. He says the network effect, especially for a social multiplayer game where you are driving, that the word of mouth, as more people play it, it has great benefits. Sea of Thieves engagement in Game Pass has been higher than we expected, but also non-Game Pass sales have been higher than expected before it launched. We would have never expected that. It feels weird to say all boats rose, but it did. The same happened in the State of Decay as well. It's been an additive thing, and more so than anybody expected. So basically just more confirmation that, they're really doing a good job of selling these titles to people, despite the fact that, people thought that it wouldn't. You know, they said, "Oh, it's the end of all Xbox exclusives because you can get everything's the end of Xbox." Have you guys noticed that? Like everything's the end of Xbox. Oh, Microsoft, they have Game Pass now. That's the end of Xbox. And then Microsoft's like, hey, we don't care. We're gonna buy 5 new studios, and have them make all kinds of games. That's what Microsoft's doing. Everything's the end of X. Oh, Spider-Man, right? PS4. That's the end of Xbox. Well, here's Xbox still doing well. God of War. It's the end of Xbox, but Xbox is still here, surviving. Doing well, selling like 2 times what it did the previous year. So I think all that kind of stuff is nonsense, and I think it's silly. Like, I like console wars and the fact of, oh, mine's better than yours. Like, there's no doubt that the Xbox One X is better than the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro. It just is. That's the fact. The games are where you can kind of go, oh, well, you know what, maybe Sony has an edge the last year and a half, and that'd be 100% accurate. Sony has done a really good job of putting their games out the second part of the generation, where Microsoft hasn't. They unfortunately went through a very slow situation of I see you, Idol, in the chat. It's not really impromptu, right? Like, sometimes I like to do a live show when it's a longer story. Like, if you go back and look, like, I've already been talking for 20 minutes. And for me to do a video 20 minutes to upload that would take me probably hours with my internet. So sometimes it's easier to just kind of do it this way if it's an elongated situation. And I wanted to make sure I covered this entire article. And so that's what it was all about. Basically, Microsoft saying, hey, we're the best place to play this holiday, and people that have 4K TVs and people that want the best version of these games on a console are going to play on the Xbox One X. And I like that. I like that confidence by Microsoft. I think that what Microsoft has done is really kind of situated themselves as the top of the place to play. And, people are going to continue to buy Xbox One X's, and people are going to continue to buy Xbox Ones. And, I think it's a very exciting time to be an Xbox fan. And for them to come back and to be sort of as positive as they have been, and as kind of, they were so timid for such a long time, and we all seen it before, right? We've seen Microsoft really be super timid and go, well, you can play where you want to play, and just if you like Sony, then go with Sony. If you like Nintendo, go with Nintendo. And for them to be like, hey, people want a game with us because we've got the best version, we're going to have the best versions of all these games, and Digital Foundry is going to say we have the best version, whether it's the frame rate or the resolution or running better in general. We're going to have the best version. And I think that's great. I think that's why people don't like Aaron Greenberg as much as Phil. People like Phil. Even Sony fans like Phil, and PC fans like Phil, because Phil is kind of non-committal to that, because you think it breeds like console war, right? But it really doesn't. It's like, how can we live in a day and age where you can't be proud of your product, and you can't say, hey, we've got the best product? That's just life. If you've got a product, you got to get out there and advertise it as the best. And that's how you do it. Sony did it with the PS4, right? They were like, hey, we've got the PS4. We can play used games. We can play this. They took advantage of Microsoft's shortcomings, right? And what Microsoft has been able to do is kind of reverse that. It just so happens that when Microsoft reversed that, people were like, oh, well, we don't care about that stuff now, and that's just factual. Like, Microsoft did a good job of getting everybody to stop talking about resolution. Resolution doesn't matter anymore. And Microsoft did that. They were able to do that. Hey, what's up, Fuzzy? How you guys all doing, man? Xbox is still trash. No one's buying them. Oh, dude, come on, man. Get out of here. They're going to have a good year next year. Julian says 4 exclusives next year: Crackdown 3, Ori, Gears 5, and Battletoads. Yeah, I mean, they could have something else too. I don't really know what they're going to have for say. They might have some kind of Forza game or kart racer. I don't know, but probably not. I like what they're doing with that. They're going, and what is Sony going to have? If you look at what Sony's going to have next year, I don't think they're going to have a ton next year. The only game they have confirmed is Days Gone, which might not be that good. And what else is confirmed for next year from Sony? They didn't put a date or a year on The Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, or what was their other game that they have? Ghosts of Tsushima. So, dude, Gears 5 is next year. It says 2019, bro. What do you think is most important? Best version of multiplayer that you can play in other platform, or exclusives that you can play? I think you need both. I thought Microsoft had the better exclusives to start the generation, but Sony had the better place to play multiplats, and that won out. So we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, hey, Musty, go check out the trailer, man. It says 2019. That's the release date, man. So I think Microsoft has a plan going forward to actually kind of capitalize on what they're doing. Now, Crackdown 3 might suck. Like, nobody has any faith in that. I certainly don't. But I do think that what Microsoft has is a good mix of games and the best place to play, all these multiplats, right? So, like, for me, I have a PS4 Pro, and I played. I like VR, but even I haven't even really played VR much lately. So basically, I played God of War, which I loved. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Then Detroit came out. I loved it. I think I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. And then I unplugged it. And playing through Spider-Man is the first time that I've played it since then. So that's, a long period of time. And after, I'm done I don't plan on going back to Spider-Man, I'm going to play Tomb Raider. It's coming out in a few days. So I'll be back on Xbox One X. I would want to play that in 4K on the Xbox One X, and I'm going to play Red Dead 2 on the Xbox One X, and I'm going to play Battlefield 5 on the Xbox One X, and Forza Horizon 4 on the Xbox One X. You see what I'm getting at, guys? And Assassin's Creed Odyssey in 4K on the Xbox One X, right? I want to play all these games on the Xbox One X. That's why Xbox, to me, right now is the best box. And I think that anybody that early on was like, hey, I'd rather play these multiplats on PS4 because they're going to play better. Hey, you had your right to do that, and I think that that's something that, a lot of people don't realize is that, hey, you have the right to do what you want in terms of where you want to play your games. And I think that PS4's lineup for the rest of the year and into next year is very questionable. Like, when are they going to come out with the PS5? When are they going to announce that? Because that's keyly important, because they didn't put any release years on The Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, or Ghost of Tsushima. We have no idea when those could be 2020 games, right? Those could be cross-gen games with the PS5. And the only exclusives that they have coming out next year could be Days Gone and possibly Shenmue 3. But I wouldn't really count that as a big AAA, but I'm going to count it anyway as a game, because I do think that, a lot of people, I mean, you guys paid for that game, right? Like, they brought the guy out on stage and stuff, and he's like, hey, Shenmue 2, Shenmue 3, and I like those games. I'm going to play it on the PS4, but I'm just saying a lot of other people, maybe not so much. I don't think that's going to be like a huge hit or anything like that. At the same time, Microsoft has kind of a diverse lineup next year, and there's going to be a lot of good games coming out, and I think that people are going to actually want to play these games the best place that they can. And I think that's where the Xbox One X and Microsoft strategy comes into play. If you guys remember, okay, remember back in 2000, I think 15, if you look back, and Sony did a commercial with their holiday commercial, and the only games in that whole commercial were multiplats, and Sony fanboys were like, oh my gosh, look at it owned. They just destroyed Microsoft. They owned them. Look at all those great games. And I remember thinking, I can play all those on Xbox though, right? Because they were like, yeah, but we're allowed to play them on where they play best. And I think Microsoft has that same strategy. They took that and they're using it against what Sony did. So let's see. Recore looks cool. Recore looks okay, but then you play it and it's not, right? Like, I had fun with Recore at first, and then when you had to go, which I heard they fixed, right? You had to go back and like find the cores, like find more cores, find more cores. It's weird. Any chance that there will be a price drop for the X in the coming months? I don't know. I hope that they drop it, but they do deals all the time. Like, they did that deal with GameStop where you could trade in like an original Xbox One and get $200 off, or trade in a PS4 and get like $250 off, or a PS4 Pro and get $300 off. Like, that was a really good deal. You can also do, they do have that one deal if you live near a Microsoft store where you can actually, kind of rent to own it. I think that's a good thing if you guys are looking to do that. Hey, hit that like button, guys. Like 300 almost watching. Pretty cool. Hey, crap does not suck at Spider-Man. I don't hate Spider-Man either. I just don't think it's something that is for me personally. It's not like my cup of tea. Let's see. Crap and Phil both don't know what core Xbox fans want anymore. Dude, I never claim to know what Xbox fans want. I only know what I want. And I like good games, and I like playing multiplats the best because we all play multiplats 99% of the time. So for me personally, it's all about being able to play those games the absolute best that I can. And I think that's critically important. Um, let's see. Sea of Thieves is as good as Spider-Man. State of Decay is as good as Detroit. I wouldn't say that. Forza Horizon 4 is really good, though. I will say that. I like Sea of Thieves, but I get why people don't, right? It's like one of those games that requires a lot of patience and, fun. It's one of those hashtag fun games where you either you either kind of enjoy that kind of thing and you have friends that can play it, or you don't. And for me, I have great friends that that enjoy playing the game with me. So I think that's what makes that game fun to me. It's more fun for me because I have some friends that we have a good time with it. If you were just really playing it by yourself, I can see why you would hate it. There's no single player element to it, so you would hate it. So I get that. If you're like a single player game, you would hate that game. You just would. Like if you love single player games, you would hate that game. So I absolutely love that game because I like multiplayer games, but I get why people don't like it. So, just like, hey, look, when people wanted to jump on me yesterday during Crossfire because I said, hey, Spider-Man is good, but it's not great. People were like, oh, you would hate on a PlayStation exclusive. And then you point out that I gave God of War a 10 out of 10 and Detroit a 9.5 out of 10. And I think Ratchet and Clank 9.5 out of 10. And I think Until Dawn a 9 out of 10. I like what I like. You guys like what you like. If the game was good, and as far as preconceived notions, I went into God of War thinking I was going to probably not like it because they changed it too much, and I loved it. I went into Detroit thinking it was going to suck, and I loved it, right? I went into Until Dawn thinking it was going to be lame, and I loved it. So it's not even preconceived notions. I have no problems admitting when I'm wrong or if I mess up, right? I think that a lot of people do. I like gaming, and for me, Spider-Man is very much trying to be like Arkham, and it does accomplish that in a good way. But at the same time, it's it can be a little bit tedious at times and things like that. So I do think that it's a work in progress. I don't think it's, and I've run into some bugs and stuff. But other than that, I think if you're a big Spider-Man fan, you're definitely going to love that game. Just for me personally, I don't think that it was something that is like a 10 out of 10. It's not better than God of War. I can say that. Um, definitely not. So yeah, what do you guys think about this, man? Aaron Greenberg coming out swinging, saying that Xbox is the place to play. Again, I'll quote this. He says, a lot of it is our partners, especially after we launched the Xbox One X, because their partners are interested in making sure they're able to work with the platform that is going to showcase their games the best. So they want to show their games in 4K, and they want to show their games how they look the best. And since the Xbox One X is 40% more powerful than the PS4, then that's where people will want to play. Do you guys agree with that or no? Like for me personally, I definitely agree with that. I think that, hey, I'm not saying that 87 isn't a good score. 87 is great. I said it wouldn't be in the 90s, and I was right. Simply for the fact that I thought it was their first try at it, and I thought that it would be a little bit generic. Let's see. Jack says Xbox is the place to get bored. I don't know about that, man. I got a ton of games to play, man. I have over 600. Spider-Man is Game of the Year runner-up. What's the Game of the Year then, Spider? Because I think Red Dead 2 is going to be in that running. You know what I mean? Multiplats. Hey, you're right, Sammy. Xbox One X is the place that people are going to want to play that, and that's something that people have to keep in the back of their heads going forward. Just you've got to, if you want to play the best versions, or if you have a 4K TV. Look, if you've invested into a 4K TV, why would you not want to play that the best, right? Why would you not want to play on the Xbox One X? That's always my key thing. Forget fanboyism and all that kind of stuff. Why would you not want to play on it? Like I've never seen that before. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people, and shout out to Noof Nukem, right? Like you guys know I'm a good friends with Noof Nukem. Good guy. I podcast with him. I game with him. Like he's kind of in a lot of ways the typical gamer, right? He prefers Xbox, but he'll play PlayStation games if like the good ones or whatever. He's gotten rid of, I think, 3 PlayStation 4s or something along those lines. And most people I know at some point have had PlayStation 4s and got rid of them, right? Like I never do that. I gave my old PS4. I let my brother use it when I got my Pro. but I don't get rid of consoles. But he bought the new Spider-Man one, right? After he had sold his PS4 recently. And most people I know do that. You wonder why they do so well, because a lot of Xbox gamers will buy a PS4, they'll play a game early in the year, they won't play it for 8 months, they might sell it off, and then a second game comes out that they want to play at the end of the year, and they go buy another one, right? Like, that's weird. But Xbox fans will do that, where PlayStation fans, they won't play Xbox, right? They'll just go, oh, well, who cares? I don't want to play, I'm not going to buy an Xbox. I'll just sit there and talk about how it has no games, But, so there's not a lot of both two-way streets right there. You know what I mean? So I really do think that that's a sort of a sad kind of situation where Xbox fans, every Xbox fan I know, they're tweeting out pictures of Spider-Man. They were tweeting out pictures of God of War, right? But there's no PlayStation people I know that are like, oh man, I can't wait for Forza Horizon 4, even though Forza Horizon 3 on PS4 was like the #1 search term on Amazon and Google, right? So that's sort of a weird situation to me that, Xbox fans, they're all about, playing wherever a great game is, whereas PlayStation fans, they tend to more or less just stick only to PlayStation. And I think that's sort of a weird situation. But I do, like I said, just kind of getting back to the topic, that Microsoft saying that they have more third-party deals right now than they ever have before is incredible. And I think that really shows a testament to them listening, because if you remember, we were all complaining about it. Like, oh man, Microsoft needs more third-party deals. Microsoft needs to do a better job at getting marketing rights and showcasing their games. And now they're doing that, and people are like, hey, they're still not doing enough. I think they're doing plenty. And I just think that, they come up against a buzzsaw that is, the PlayStation 4. Sony has done a really good job at, at kind of, attracting a certain kind of gamer. And, they do a great job with those single player games. And I admit that freely, they do a fantastic job with those games. And just, I think going forward, Microsoft has to do a better job there. And hopefully they will. Just like I would love to see Sony do a better job with multiplayer, right? Crap, why am I live and solo? Hey, Xbot 448. Because I'm just talking about this article, dude, that Aaron Greenberg did this interview, and it's such a long article that I wanted to discuss it. So this was probably the easiest way, So, hey, I wouldn't say, listen, like a lot of people think that I dislike all PS4 fans and stuff like that. That's not true. There's a lot of PS4 gamers out there that are just true gamers, man, and they just like PS4, and that's fine. Just like there's a lot of Xbox gamers that like Xbox, and I think that's fine too. I think gamers in general have taken things maybe a little bit too far this generation, and I'm happy to kind of see so many people come around to the Xbox lately just because of the power stuff. I'm really excited for it, and I know some of you guys are too. And that's what really makes me excited about the future, is because I think the future is going to be less about the extremism of console wars and just more about the games and where you can play them best. Like, I am the first to admit that exclusives matter, but I was saying exclusives mattered right from the beginning of this generation, and a lot of people weren't saying that same thing. Hey, hit that like button, guys. Closing in on 100 likes. I would appreciate it. Means a lot to me if you guys would do that. So like when Microsoft launched with Killer Instinct, Rise, Forza Motorsport, Dead Rising 3, the Max, the Curse of Brotherhood, Titanfall came out in March, Sunset Overdrive came out later that year, Master Chief Collection, and Forza Horizon 2, like all within that first year, I was like, holy crap, this is like where I want to game, this is where I want to be. And Sony didn't really have anything to match that for me. Do I think Xbox can hit 40 million console sales? Dude, they're going to hit way more than that. They're probably already there. I wouldn't doubt that they're there. Supposedly they're doing really good. And so I'm really happy with like the sales. Just because they don't announce the sales doesn't really mean that they're doing bad, right? They didn't announce Forza sales, and we know that was doing good. And, Microsoft is doing everything they can to be pro-consumer, right? Hell, they own Mixer, and what are they advertising right now? They're advertising Spider-Man, right? If you're using Simply Gone or Azure, that's helping Xbox. If you're using Windows, that's helping Xbox. That's just the way it is. Like, they got their hands in everything. People want to make a big deal out of things, but nobody made a big deal out of PUBG having 9 million players on Xbox, right? Like Xbox gets a lot of the hate for things that they don't deserve, and they don't get the credit when they do deserve it, right? So people will bring up like some of the dumbest things and hate on Xbox, and then Microsoft will come out with some kind of good announcement, and people will be like, "Oh, well, that's just damage control or this or that." If Microsoft is saying, "Hey, I absolutely, um, if you think Xbox is dead and Microsoft goes out and buys 5 new studios, what does that tell you, right? That tells you that, Xbox isn't dead. Microsoft obviously is investing into what they're bringing the content to the fans, and I think they listen to us, and I think that Sony's going to do fine too. Sony's going to have to go out there and answer next generation's call with the whole crossplay stuff as well. Like they're going to have to go out of their way and do a good job at appeasing those fans as well, right? You can't just be anti-consumer the whole generation and then be, and then just suddenly go, oh, well, here we are starting a new, a new generation as we cross 300 people watching. Hit that like button. I really do like doing these kind of impromptu things, man. I have fun with it. I like keeping some stuff fresh. I know it's not exactly the meat and potatoes of gaming news lately, but I really do appreciate you guys coming out and checking out. Hey, look, and even some of you guys haters, man. Like, look, some of you haters, I get it, man. You guys say some clever stuff. You guys say some funny stuff. Yeah, you get your little crap gamer zingers in, and I have no problem, man. You don't see me blocking people. Like, honestly, on here, like, there's some moderators and stuff. Unless you try to get personal or something like that, or say something extremely negative, then I will. But for the most part, man, just keep it clean and keep it in the console war, and we're good, man. How's the Spider-Man Collector's Edition? I think it's cool. I don't know if it's as good as the God of War one. I like that God of War statue, and I like Mimir. I wish my Mimir still worked, but I actually liked I like the God of War one better, but the Spider-Man stuff is cool. Getting some in-game content is pretty cool as well. Like being able to get the I don't know who that is, man. Master X. I'm not sure who that is. If you're talking about Twitter's a different story. Mostly what I like to do is just kind of have, as long as they're keep it clean and keep it non-personal, then we're good. So if people, why you still your gamer score? I don't know what that means. My gamer score is 151,000, 152,000. So yeah, yeah, exactly. Good point. Cuphead 3 million, PUBG 9 million. I think that's really cool. What games do you think it will take to reach 2 billion gamers, since Xbox couldn't reach 50 million gamers with Halo, Gears, and Forza? I don't think that the games themselves were the reason. I think that the way that you jump into gaming is the reason, right? So not everyone wants to game on a console. Some people maybe want to game on a tablet, or some people want to game on their TV, or play like Facebook games or whatever, right? So I think they're just trying to do what they can to reach those. That's where maybe Scarlet Cloud would come in, and I think that that's where they're trying to draw in some of those type of players. I don't think that it's necessarily a situation where they're trying to get everybody 2 billion gamers on the Xbox One X. I think that it's all about trying to reach gamers through different means, and I think that's pretty cool. Why do I still block my achievements? I just, originally I did that because there was a lot of people that were just kind of stalking. And I was like, this is kind of lame. So I did, but you can still see my gamer score. And then I thought it was funny because people would always bring it up. Like, you're not a real gamer if, you know what I mean? Like, you're not a real gamer, crap, because you don't show your achievements. And I'm like, well, you can see that I have 152,000 gamer score, and that's more than the people saying I'm not a real gamer. You know what I mean? Hey, Ice Queen. Hey, sorry to hear that. That does sound awful. Hopefully things work out for you. I know that gaming can be incredibly therapeutic. I actually game, you know what I mean? I think as a way to, as an escapism, from anxiety and stuff like that. Dude, look, anybody can come join the channel. I just don't understand why people would bring hate to a channel. Like, I don't go to anybody's channel and hate. I don't, I'm just all about gaming and having a good time. And my opinion, I've built this channel up on my opinion, and that's really exactly what what I like to do. And if you don't, if you don't like the opinion, then why would you come check it out? Actually, dude, I have over 600 games now. So yeah, it's over 600 now. Yeah, I haven't even played them all, dude. I probably have maybe 200 that I have installed that I haven't even played, and some that I have like in the package. Like right now, I'm holding in my hand a copy of Extinction, unwrapped. I mean, it's not in wrap. It's still in the wrapper that I bought off of Amazon for like $8. Like that happens to me a lot, right? I just buy games whenever I can, whenever there's a sale or whatever. It doesn't matter, physical, digital. I get gifted a lot of games as well. So yeah, it's like it's a situation where I have a ton of games. I just don't get into the whole drama thing, guys. Like I never wanted to be that type of YouTuber where I had to rely talking about other people or stalking other. I'm not the YouTube police. I'm not the Twitter police. I'm not the social media police. People can do what they want. God bless them. You know what I mean? I'm just all about having fun and getting my opinion out. And it seems like some people like to hear my opinion. Some people don't, but if you like the opinion, cool. I appreciate you. Please hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. It's right next to there, because otherwise you probably aren't going to get notified of the content. And that would be kind of lame for you guys not to be able to get notified of it, because sometimes YouTube doesn't do a great job of getting the word out. So, I work hard on this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I do. So, hey, Crap, why don't you always provide sources when you say fanboys are furious? Well, it's like the main problem with that is I won't show people's Twitter handles in my channel. So like, if you guys ever notice Aaron Greenberg or somebody responds or Major Nelson responds to somebody, I'll white out their handle because they're not verified or whatever. I don't want to bring anything to them. So it's like when you see that people are upset or that people are doing something, that's what it's all about. Like if it's a official news thing like this interview, if you just go look down, you can see that it says source in quotations, and then you can click on the link and it'll take you to the actual interview. So if it's actual news, then that's it. Now, if it's something that somebody has told me, then obviously that's something where I can't source it. So I actually cover rumors, facts, opinion pieces, reviews, previews. I pretty much cover it all. So it's really hard to really kind of, I don't like to be pigeonholed. I like to have fun. Jack, why do you do them Capital Foundry videos? Just because I think they're funny. That's why. Do you ever do something just because you think it's funny? I mean, for me, I think it's funny. I thought it was funny when they were doing that God of War thing where they were doing the side by side. Basically, I kind of started that. And there's a blank screen on one side and God of War with PS4 on the other. I thought it was funny, especially with big games like Grand Theft Auto or some of these Call of Duty games that PlayStation fans would like to play. And and what's funny to me is this, right? Those are some of the ones where I actually read the comments, like the Red Dead Redemption one, right? And they go, man, something must be wrong with your capture software because there's nothing on the PS4 side. And that's the joke. When people like don't realize that that's the joke to me. That's the part where I'm laughing and having a good time because, man, I had some fun with some people, and that's what it's all about, and it's all good fun. Like I'm never out there doing anything, super negative or anything like that. It's just all good fun, good, clean fun. If it's called Crapgamer Reviews, where are the reviews? I got a ton of reviews, man. Go to the front of the channel and you'll see that I do reviews for Xbox One. They have their own playlist, Xbox One and 360 reviews. I do Connect. Well, I don't really do those ones anymore. But if you scroll down, I do PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 reviews as well. I used to do Nintendo reviews, but things got really strict with the Nintendo, with the Nintendo stuff. So I stopped doing the Nintendo reviews. I actually play Nintendo Switch a lot. It's just I can't really review the games. I guess I could review some of the smaller games, but the first party stuff I can't even show. So yeah, it's a little bit Rex says, why does your moderator ban people for no reason? Dude, Lito Papa does a good job at keeping the chat clean. Like as long as you're not being extreme, then you're okay. So how did I come up with the Crap Gamer name? Um, I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I just thought it was funny that it used to come up on the screen. A crap gamer killed you, right? So that was how it kind of started. And then when Xbox 360 came out, that was my name, and PS3. I was lucky enough just to get crap gamer because I used to, I was really good at Call of Duty and some of these games. And when you're in the chat before party chat, right? When you're in the lobby after you just like smoke some dudes on Call of Duty and they're mad and they're like, man, I can't believe someone named Crap Gamer just beat us. Like that was hilarious to me. I thought that was funny. And so again, like I don't take anything too serious. And so even the name Crap Gamer was always just something as kind of funny and humorous to me. Also, if I sucked at something, it gave me a little leniency, right? Like you can't hate on someone who's calling themselves crap, So for me personally, I just thought it was kind of funny. And, I'm all about that kind of fun, just goofy kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. I like my brothers in arms, the BGST crew and Mooch and Boomstick and Zaire and all those guys, man. We're all just like to have fun and games and things like that. When you bring up 2013, why do you leave out the PS3 and 360 or the whole picture? I don't know what you mean. Like, can you clarify that? Yeah, let's see. Sleeping Dogs is amazing. I absolutely love Sleeping Dogs. I beat that game on 360, PS3, and Xbox One, the remaster or whatever. What do you think about Playground making a squad-based death rally race? I don't know, man. Whatever Playground Games wants to do, I hope they do it. I think they've earned the respect and the leniency to do whatever they want. The Forza Horizon series has been absolutely amazing. And I'm looking forward to their take on Fable as well. So I think whatever they want to do with their two teams, they're able to do. If I had started this channel as an unbiased channel for video games, you could have reached a lot of subs by now. Well, listen, I'm kind of content where I'm at. If things ended for me right now, I'd feel complete. I'd feel like mission accomplished, right? I did start this channel unbiased, right? I used to do crappy reviews, and I did PS3 reviews and Wii reviews and Xbox 360 reviews, and there was no bias. I did one video where after Microsoft had their E3 2013, I said I was going to get an Xbox One instead of a PS4 because I could only afford one, and I really wanted to play Killer Instinct and Rise and Forza and Sunset Overdrive and Titanfall, and people really started in on me and attacked me over that. And so I started making more videos and more videos. And I was always an Xbox guy, but I could still review PlayStation games and have fun with them. That was how the channel started. It didn't even start out the way you think. I didn't start this channel out as a way to bash anything or protect anything. It was just to do reviews. I ran a gaming clan, and I would buy games, and people would go, hey, can you review some, because we would like to know which games are good or not. And it started out as that. I just was doing little silly reviews, and then it kind of went from there, where I got a lot of hate and threats and stuff for saying I was going to get an Xbox One. And I was like, hey man, I'm going to get what I want and like what I want. That's basically what it all came down to. I think people should be allowed to game on what they want, but you shouldn't really get it. Like, I'm not going to hate on somebody because they game on PlayStation. Cool. And you know what? I thought Spider-Man, I'm going to have my review up today, a little bit later today. So you guys will see what I did. I finished the main stuff. I didn't do all the side quests or anything like that. I was able to beat the game in about 12 hours. So, again, I did it on easy. I'll go over all this stuff in my review, but yeah, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't like super memorable. Like, I didn't have that lasting impression like I did with God of War or Detroit. So I do think that if you're a Spider-Man fan, man, you're going to love that game. It's probably the best Spider-Man game that's come out. Hey, hit that like button if you guys are having a good time. I do appreciate it. I think you guys rock. I try to do these a little bit more often. I just had some time this afternoon, and I was like, hey, might as well get in, a live video to cover this as much as you can, because, you guys are worth it. Crap Gamer defends Xbox just like Sony gamers defend PlayStation, but PlayStation gamers get offended easy. Yeah, some of them do. Like I'm friends with some PlayStation gamers, and I think that's fine. You know, it's all about opinions and stuff. You know, like for me personally, I just want to be able to have a good time and you know, have fun, you know, and people forget that so often nowadays, right? Like gaming is about having fun. Like here's the thing. I love football. Football season has started. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. I will sit there and joke and make fun of Steelers fans and Steelers and the Patriots and the Browns. You know, I don't like those teams, but that doesn't mean that I can't be friends with those people. You know, it's just when my team's playing their teams, man, we're going to go at it a little bit and it's just going to have fun, you know, but it's nothing personal. It's just we're going to have fun going back and forth and things like that. And I think that's what it's all about. And, you know, for me, Xbox has always been about that freedom. I like playing online. So I played online firstly with the Sega Dreamcast back in 2000, 2001, the NFL 2K games and the NBA 2K games. And from that moment on, I just knew that I had to play online games. And when I had an Xbox and a PlayStation 2, I was playing games online, man. I just loved it. I thought that's what I wanted to do. It was like that was where the competition was. And I like that competition. I like that idea of playing games online, and I've never looked back. So when Microsoft announced the Xbox One in 2013 and people were freaking out over the online stuff, it didn't bother me because I was always online and had my consoles plugged in since the Dreamcast, right? So, and that was dial up. Beep, beep. Yeah, like, you know, you had to get like your dial up connection going, and you had like the little red bars, and it was really bad, but it was just fun. You know, it was just a lot of fun for me. So, hey, I like Nintendo too, man. I got a Switch and a bunch of games and stuff. So, you know, I game on everything. You know, I have a Vita. I like PlayStation VR. I still have my Wii U. My Wii U's in the box, but I still have my Dreamcast. I did some Dreamcast video footage the other day because I got a converter, an HDMI converter that allows me to actually capture Dreamcast footage, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. You know, I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. So for me personally, you know, it all started as being like this Xbox fan, but I'm a fan of everything, man. I support PlayStation more than the average PlayStation fan. I'd say that, you know, I definitely, I like the Vita. I've got a bunch of Vita games. Um, I like my PS4. I've got over 100 PS4 games. So I like it all. You know, I just prefer Xbox. Like people don't get that. Like they think that I hate PlayStation, and that's not true. I think that we need all these console companies to compete against each other because it helps us out. Like Sony did a better job this month for PlayStation Plus. Microsoft's going to have to answer that, right? Hell, Sony started offering free games for PlayStation Plus, and then that forced Microsoft to answer. You know, hopefully with cross progression, you have Nintendo and Microsoft doing that. Maybe Sony's going to have to answer, right? So that could be beneficial for all of us. I don't really care about crossplay. Like I've said that a million times. Crossplay, I don't really care. But cross progression, I think that's something that we all should need and kind of get because we all have games that we play, whether it be Fortnite or, you know, Call of Duty. Some of us play Call of Duty on other systems. So we have to go and unlock everything again. You know, like to me, that would be awesome and actually make me want to buy games on multiple systems. So I think that's like something that a lot of people kind of don't take for granted as well, that it's beneficial. Like everybody just sees like the fanboy stuff without realizing that, you know what? Hey, if Sony did allow cross progression and stuff like that, we would be able to actually sell more games and people would be able to play, you know, to bring over the stuff that they bought that you paid for. Right. That's the thing that gets me is people defend no cross progression and no crossplay, but it's like we pay for all this stuff and people act like, you know, just like is like they don't care. Like you spend your hard-earned money on this stuff on Fortnite, whether it be Fortnite or whatever, and you should be able to take it and not have your account locked. That's my take on it anyway. And I think that that's the future. And I do think that it's convenient that Microsoft does it now, but I just think that Phil is the type of guy that thinks gamers should be able to game on whatever they want. And he does believe in crossplay. So I do think that maybe if Matrick was still in charge, it wouldn't be a thing. But I think that the fact that Phil actually honestly believes that makes it that way. And I think that that's something that you know, people should really keep in mind. Like, we're not talking about 10 years ago when Microsoft might have said no, they didn't want crossplay. We're talking about now, and I think that's the most important thing. So, let's see. What do we got here? Any questions in here? Bloodborne is multi-plat since its own PC. You know what? I still look at that as being a PlayStation exclusive. I did a video about it being multi-plat because it went to PlayStation Now, kind of as a joke, just because everybody always says, oh, Microsoft has no exclusives, right? Like, eventually, yeah, you get the feeling that Sony wants to put all their games on PlayStation Now, which would make them all on PC. They're still a PlayStation exclusive, but people freak out about it, you know? So to me, that's the funny part, you know? And I have no problem mentioning that. That's kind of funny to me. You know, I like sort of what Microsoft is doing in terms of I'm not a big Play Anywhere fan. Like, I was one of the ones that came out against it. I'm like, why are they doing Play Anywhere? It's clear that nobody really cares about Play Anywhere, right? Like, I don't know anybody that really uses it, but I guess the option is something that people really enjoy, you know, and I think that's cool. You know, I'm perfectly fine with the option. You know, I think that fans should have the option, you know, however you want to play it, you know, but I do think that Microsoft gets that gamers want exclusives and we deserve exclusives. And as long as there are consoles, the exclusives are what make the difference. And right now, especially lately, you know, Sony's been kicking Microsoft's butt in the exclusive department, and Microsoft has to do a better job. That's what those new studios are about. And I feel like that's what Microsoft is doing. You know, you have Game Pass just like Netflix, and you want it to be like Netflix or whatever, but you can't be like Netflix if you don't have the games. You know, it's all about the games. That's all that matters. And I think that that's, hey, Butters, get over here. Yeah, that's my dog. He's vicious. You guys hear him? Man, he's vicious. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so options, I think it's all about options. It's all about doing what gamers want and just being able to kind of appease. Like, if you try to appease everybody, you're not going to really do much for anybody, right? So when you try to please everyone, there's no such thing as being able to please everyone. It's all that's just kind of all a lie, you know what I mean? It's like you want to yeah, shut that damn dog up. Yeah, so anyway, you know, like if I sit there and I just try to please just Xbox fans, right? That'd be a lie to myself, because I like some PlayStation stuff. If I sit there and go, oh, well, God of War sucked when I think it was great and the best single player game that I played, that's really just lying to my fans and lying to myself as well. You know, and I don't want to do that. I try to be as decent a person as I can be. And, you know, like I said, it's all about those options and things like that. I like the options, even though I don't personally use the options. I don't care about them, you know. Digital says, hey, crap, rack them up. I finally got around to Recore. Really liked it. Yeah, well, hey, Recore, they fixed a lot of it, man. When that game launched, it was okay at first, and then it was not too bad. How many dogs I have? One dog that I personally have, but I also run a dog rescue, so I take care of a lot of dogs. That's kind of my life. That's my job. My day job is taking care of animals and dog training, and you know, YouTube is kind of like a hobby that I do. So, you know, it's yeah, Recore was a game. I like that, actually. Any other questions you guys got in the chat? Hey, I don't have a problem if people like Recore. Let's see. Why would we want to play anywhere? It's a lot. Okay, I don't get that. Any questions before I start wrapping this up? You know, it's going to be a good time. Sony didn't get successful all by themselves. The biased developers. Hey, you know what? Sony did take advantage of the developers. They really, you know, remember how much they loved indies the first few years because they didn't really have much else. And I think, you know, now Microsoft has really, like, I always knew that was kind of like a fake relationship. Like, Sony was only using the indie developers, you could tell. And now they don't have indies on their E3 show or anything. So, yeah, I'm getting Forza Horizon 4 early. I have the $100 edition pre-ordered. So, even with the new studios, can Microsoft bring that many former Xbox fans back? Well, here's the thing. Think about how many Xbox 360s were sold just in the US, right? and think about how many abandoned their entire libraries and everything and friends to get a PS4. So I do think, I do think that Microsoft with Game Pass, that's designed to lure people back to the Xbox, right? That's what it's for. Hellhammer has been busy with his work schedule changed and stuff like that, so he hasn't been able to podcast. But he's doing okay. When are we getting a 4K update fix for the Xbox One? I'm not sure. There is a little bit of an issue going on with Xbox right now, thanks to an update. It kind of messed up some things. So, Viking Norm bathing his German Shepherd. Oh, dude, I love German Shepherds, man. Crap. Why is it that Sony fans don't appreciate their games and you find them on eBay for $10? Dude, I don't know. Like, I buy most of my PlayStation games physical, and I take care of my stuff. Like I don't ever trade in my stuff or sell it. So, I really I don't know. Why didn't PlayStation gamers support Detroit, man? That was probably the best story-based game this year, and it turns out it didn't even sell that well. So I don't know. Want Civilization on Xbox? Isn't that game coming to the Switch? You would think it would come to Xbox. I don't know. So hey, hit that like button, guys. Maybe we can get up to 150, because that would be cool. Why do Xbox fans care what Sony fans do or spend? I don't think they do. I think Sony fans can spend and buy whatever they want. Do you think Phil Spencer thinks more as a game publisher than a console developer? That's a good question, Digital. I think that's possible, mainly because he used to be the head of Xbox Game Studios first. So, Mr. Titan says, anything you heard in terms of rumors in the next Xbox on who they're buying next? Just the ones that you guys heard, Obsidian and stuff like that. So, Forza Horizon 3 holds its value better than most people. Yeah, Forza Horizon 3 was that damn good. I mean, that's really awesome. So, yeah, exactly. Microsoft swung for the fences. So that is kind of funny to me. Like, I think Microsoft messed up early on, but that was so long ago. I really wish people would just stop kind of harping on that. They've changed a lot. Like, to me, that'd be still people like harping on. Yeah, I do play the guitar actually. Face reveal soon. My picture is floating out there all over the place, man. There's, yeah, nothing special. So, look, I have fun with this stuff. I don't like it to get weird or anything like that. I enjoy talking about video games, and I even talk about the some of the other aspects of some of my personal life and stuff like that with what I do for a job, which wasn't always the case, right? Like, originally, like, it was just all about just kind of being a prick and being this character and being a jerk to people, and like, that grows on you. Like, after a while, you don't want to really, dude, Metallica all day, come on. When crossplay is referenced, why does no one bring up DC Universe Online? I don't know. I've heard good things about the game. I played that game a little bit, but it was really, really, like, you had to sink a lot of time into it. So I wasn't sure if if that was something that I wanted to continue playing or not. So yeah, I do think that it's a cool game. I think that cross-play on something like that would make a lot of sense. Like the MMO, what made me start YouTube. I was a big fan of Angry Video Game Nerd. I don't know if you guys know who that is. But I used to love watching Angry Video Game Nerd back in the day, and I just thought that was so cool. And I wanted to do reviews, and my gaming clan started asking me to review some games because I was always getting a lot of games and they weren't. And so I just started doing reviews and just having fun with it, and then I liked it. I also, like, there was this guy called the Wii Viewer, and I liked his reviews of the Wii games, right? I thought those are really cool. And so I really was kind of inspired to do reviews because of those two, So yeah, that's basically where it started. And now I love doing the reviews and stuff. And I love doing just like the kind of news and just being kind of consistent with my stuff. So even though we might not be in the heat of, the busy season for the news and stuff, I still put out content every day because I feel like the fans are worth it. even if it's something that not everybody's going to care about or view. That's fine. I use my Connect as a voice thing? Yeah. So yeah, I think that's been pretty cool. I still use it. I'm like Xbox this or Cortana that. So yeah, I think some people it works better than the Alexa stuff. So people like options once again. So you think Shadow of the Tomb Raider is going to be bomb? Is it going to be bomb or is it going to bomb? I don't know. So yeah, Cinemassacre, but yeah, he was an angry Nintendo nerd at first, and then angry video game nerd. But he was on YouTube back in like 2006. Why are there so many Xbox haters on your channel? I don't know, man. Maybe they just maybe they secretly like Xbox. I don't know. It's really hard saying. I hope there's not too many of them, man. It's just all about opinions. I like PlayStation too. I think PlayStation is fine. I like the games on PlayStation. So, I don't really know because it's weird for me because you won't see me on PlayStation centric channels or anything like that. So, let's see. If you could only have one console right now, it'd be the Xbox One X. Hey, Sir X-Man, thanks for the $2. I appreciate that, bro. Dude, Xbox has got a ton of games, man. I'm playing through Shenmue 2. That just came out. Tomb Raider is coming out in a few days. Forza Horizon 4 is coming out October 2nd. That's really cool. I wouldn't say crap as a pony. So, yeah. They already ran the, you can, let's see, what's his name? Lotic. You can look it up on Digital Foundry. They ran the early analysis for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and it's 4K. They ran the analysis for Battlefield 5, and it's mostly 4K. At certain points, it does go down to like 85% of 4K, but mostly 4K, 60 frames per second. Red Dead Redemption 2, I think they said that's 1800p on the PS4 Pro, so that would make you realistically kind of just put two and two together that it's going to be 4K on the Xbox One X. So that's really cool, man. I really think that's awesome. I have a 4K HDR TV, man. I love 4K gaming. It's just crap in here, so perfect name. No facts, just BS from Crapgamer. Oh yeah, I get it, man. That's like the same type of people that go, "You're Crapgamer." Like, man, change the channel, man. Come up with something better. If you're just gonna hate, then like I'm sure there's some other places you can go to that really are into that drama stuff. I'm not one of those. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is not going to be checkerboard because they're only doing 2 modes. They already tested it, 4K and the 1080 60. So let's see. I don't you should do. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do try to change things up, especially when it's a little bit slower. Trying to interact a little bit more with you guys too, because it's easier to answer questions in the chat than it is to actually sit down and read hundreds of questions and stuff and after a video is done. So it's like I said, like I'm having a good time with this stuff. I enjoy interacting with you guys. I think you guys are all great. Even the haters, like I said, as long as you keep it non-personal, I think then I think we're all good, man. You can even dislike the channel and be there and be like, "Hey, here's your first dislike of the day." But man, I'm cool with that. Like I'm fine with that. I just for me, I don't get why you would do that. Like I sometimes have good opinions, and people are really kind of just don't really want to listen to it. Rohan says next gen want Xbox brand to be better, exclusive games. I hear what you're saying, man. I podcast with next gen every week. I talk to him a lot. He likes Xbox. He likes PlayStation. He wants Xbox to have more of those type of AAA games, right? I think that that's an admirable thing. I don't have anything against that. Why is Tomb Raider getting no love? Because Spider-Man. I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Well, crap needs to be educated as to what the word everyone means. Well, look, if you have a 4K TV and you have your choice between playing Red Dead 2 on the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro, I think that pretty much everyone is going to be choosing the Xbox One X, right? And when I'm sure, just like when I say that, or just like when Aaron Greenberg says that, he doesn't mean like the entire world. It's sort of like when PlayStation guys go, Xbox has no games, they don't mean it has no games, because that would be really ignorant to say, seeing as how most of us have hundreds of games, and I'm over 600 games on my Xbox. What they really mean is they don't have any exclusives, which even that's not even accurate, you know. No, I mean, you could say like console exclusives or whatever, but for me personally, it's all a moot point. Rise of the Tomb Raider is in native 4K, so expect Shadow of the Tomb Raider is going to be 4K. It's going to be great. You know, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Horizon 2, Red Dead 2. The only game that I'm not really at all excited about is the new Call of Duty. You know, no the fact that they have no single player campaign really kind of throws me off. I maybe would even think that the blackout mode looks cool, but no single player. I don't know if I could really do it, you know? So any other stuff? Why don't you do movie reviews like Angry Joe? I'm not sure of the what's allowed, right? So that's why I don't really do. I did do movie reviews for maybe a couple, and I did something about Star Wars because I'm a prequels fan. I prefer the Star Wars prequels over everything else. And so I did a video about that. So I like to talk about that stuff a little bit. You know, I'm a big advocate of media. I consume a lot of it, you know, movies, TV shows, and stuff like that, as well as gaming. So Red Dead 2 and Pro marketing deal wins. I'm not sure about that. You know, I think that if you're gonna play online, why wouldn't you want to play on Xbox Live or with that Xbox Elite controller, you know? I'm kind of bummed out that it looks like they canceled the Elite 2. You know, I think it's going to be a good stuff. Last Jedi was good. Oh no, what is you saying? I should block you for that. Last Jedi was terrible. Ugh. Actually, Harry, the Pro is $399. There's been no price cut on that. I mean, you can sometimes find a deal, but it's $399. Yeah. And to be honest with you, the Xbox One X is more than $100 better than the Pro. So, yeah. Hey, Daryl, man, I have a Twitter and I have Xbox Live, MOH Space Crapgamer. I respond. If you guys ever wanted to message me on Xbox Live, go ahead and you can hit me up, MOH, like Medal of Honor, Space Crapgamer. And I respond to everybody on there, man. You can add, you know, it's be like, hey, Crap, what's up, man? And I'll respond like, hey, what do you think about this? I do my best I sit down every night and respond to a bunch of the messages that I get. So. Bro, PSN and Xbox Live are the same thing. Fernando, they're not. You can't even change your name on PSN. Not only can you not change your name, but PSN has scheduled maintenance where the servers are down. Xbox Live never does that. I mean, the server that they can go down from time to time, like Xbox Live can, but they never have planned downtime or anything like that. Also, all the exclusives run on Azure cloud-based servers, and they don't do that on PlayStation. Like Uncharted even runs on peer-to-peer you know what I mean? So you could give Xboxes away. Star Wars 8 Last Jedi belongs in the I hated that game. Am I still gonna review Xbox, PlayStation games that I know reviewed Spider-Man? Well, I have a Spider-Man review going up today. You hear the rumor of Battlefield Bad Company 2 remaster and have watched gameplay of World War III. Think 3 would be the next big military first-person shooter. I haven't heard of the remaster. I heard that they might do Bad Company 3, though, which I think would be cool, because I like Battle Company 2. I thought that was really good. Do you think the next Xbox will be groundbreaking and have tons of new features? Yeah, I think that the next Xbox is going to have a lot of power, and it might even be more expensive than the PS4. So, let's see. How does Xbox have the best games this holiday? Basically, what Greenberg is talking about TV is the fact that all the big third-party games are going to be 4K. That's what he says, and so people are going to have the best experience on the Xbox One X. And with Forza Horizon 4, that they have a big racing game coming out. So, yeah, man, I love answering. You guys come up with some good questions, man. Some of you guys not great questions, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all good, man. I just enjoy the interactions and stuff like that. So it's really been a good time. Any other ones real quick? Which original Xbox backwards compatibility games do you want? You know what? I would love let me think. I think one of the Blinks is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's 2 Buffy the Vampire Slayer games on the original Xbox, and I would like both of them to go backwards compatible because I like those games. Well, my first video game system was the NES, which I love it. I have an NES Classic as well, sitting right here, right next to me. So, Battlefield 5. I liked the beta. I wasn't sold on that game, but the Battlefield 5 beta was a lot of fun. It's one of those games where if you don't play with the team, no, you probably won't have fun. So, yeah, if I can get the right people to get it, I definitely will. What do I think about the Xbox One S with 2 controllers? Hey, I think that's cool. They're trying to get, do the whole thing where you can play with your friends, I guess co-op and stuff like that. What do you think of Anthem? I think Anthem looks cool, but I hope it's not a Destiny clone. Have I been playing the Master Chief update? Dude, Master Chief looks amazing. Y9 Power says, screw the haters. I own and play on PlayStation 2. Keep the vids coming. Xbox will recover. Do not underestimate the power of $1 billion. Hey, man, I know Xbox is going to be just fine. Please help. I can't play the free games that I get from Gold. I don't know what to say, man. You can, contact Microsoft. You think Microsoft will announce any more studios this year? I think they will. If they have a show. If they don't have a show, then I don't know if we get one this year. So I hope they do announce something, though. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. So anything else? Cyberpunk 2077 looks amazing. I thought that it looks really, really good. I, like most people, would prefer it in third person, but the first person doesn't put me off. Game of the gen. Single player, I like God of War. Multiplayer, I like Sea of Thieves, man. There's just nothing like that. How much did Microsoft pay for Minecraft? $2.5 billion, and they've already made that back. In order for Xbox to succeed next gen, they can't make their console more expensive. I think they might do forward compatibility, so you might be able to play the new games on the older hardware. So TGS, Tokyo Game Show. I heard Microsoft might get, a couple of those games that Sony has as quote unquote exclusives. So it'd be cool. Yeah, at Xbox, they're doing a good job, man. Like I said, if you guys want to see Aaron Greenberg's, he did this interview where he's talking about all the stuff that I was talking about for this whole show. You can find that in the description. I linked it so you guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. I think it's a heck of an interview and good on him for kind of being honest and stuff like that. So, any other questions to end with? Do you think Xbox will buy Roblox? Maybe. I don't know. Do you think they'll show Crackdown 3 this year? Geez, I hope they show it this year. Will Microsoft make Japanese games again, and will they buy a Jap? I don't know if they can buy a Japanese studio. More likely is they open their own. Hey, crap, is Van... I don't have any sock accounts. I don't have time for that stuff. Battlefield 5 frame rates is unacceptable. I saw that it had, like, not the best frame rate. Hopefully they can fix that up. So they've got a couple more months. Phil said they won't for Xbox One X for everyone. Roblox is perfect for Xbox. I don't like that game, but I guess a lot of people do, right? I mean, it's got its own, like, PUBG and everything, so I'm excited. Hey, Sea of Thieves probably should have a third-person option. 100%. I agree with that 100%. Hey, I want you guys to all do me a favor. Hit that like button. Share it all out, all that kind of stuff. And we're doing M&C mornings tomorrow. So you guys are going to want to tune in for that. So it's going to be a good show. We're going to have fun. I appreciate you guys stopping by tonight. I do have a Spider-Man review coming out today. What do I think about custom Xbox consoles? I think they need to come out with more. What's my favorite game of all time? It might be KOTOR or Super Mario 3 or Gears. Yeah. So I'm 36. Yep. Testing those numbers. Well, no, Lethal. What happened was Mooch was busy Thursday. He was doing like the NFL season started, and he was doing some kind of draft or something, fantasy football, so he couldn't make it. So anyway, thank you guys for checking it out. I really do appreciate it, man. All you guys, men, women, ladies, whatever. I thank you guys very much. Have a great day. We'll catch you later, and we'll see you later. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.